Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much again for joining me here. Hope you're having a great day. Like taking a look here at Solana, seeing what's going on. We got our X on the chart. That's basically an area in which I would have considered a short position. Obviously, leading into this, you want to make sure that the top is in first before you do so. You don't just short blindly based on a previous resistance. So the way we want to interpret this is that $143 is that tentative support level now that we've broken through that local resistance. Okay, now again, very early to tell. Bitcoin is running towards the 62K range, up from 59K, a good 3.5, almost 4% up on the day. And I think if we hit that 63K mark, it might be a different story, but this feels a bit of a fake out for Bitcoin. Just to clarify though, there's a lot of liquidation to the upside, and it's important to recognize that Bitcoin could continue to run. I have some short considerations there, but between now and then, there's a lot of volume. You generally don't want to try to short into that. So that is also very present here too as well for Solana. We've got a chunk of volume coming through in the last 4 hours. A good chance we're going to have some sustainability in the 143 to 144 range. So ideally, in a perfect world, the price consolidates, goes sideways, then up from here. Once again, we don't want to presume that'll happen, but it seems like it's got that setup so far. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and take a look at the back end of the liquidation data. Kind of start with things there first. And if you're new to the channel, just want to say thanks again for watching. Do not forget to subscribe, and more importantly, hit the like button every time you watch one of my videos. Greatly appreciate that, but more importantly, helps this get in front of more people and prevents those moon boys from telling you that Solana is going to go to 200 in October. No offense, but I don't think that's possible. And if you just took offense to that, you're probably in the wrong place, because I'm just going to shoot you straight, tell you how the charts are, what they're telling me, and kind of make it a little easier for you to understand. That's the whole concept here. Help you learn how to do this yourself. So if we take a look here, look at this liquidation. This is interesting. We're probably going to see a little bit more upside here from Solana. If you take a look here, the local high of 145.50 or 146, somewhere in that range. The majority of that level has been swept, but there's a lot left here. Okay, in other words, we had about a 400 million in liquidation at that 145.60, and anywhere upwards of 147 still has a lot of liquidation left, probably upwards of 149. So I would presume at this point, based on the momentum from Bitcoin, Solana holding its level here, we're probably likely going to see a bit more of a continuation of the upside. And now what we want to look at next, though, obviously, is to make sure that the pairing between Bitcoin and Solana is either good or better. Okay, and what I basically mean by that is just you want to ensure that the coin that you're taking a trade with has a lot of continuation potential, and it's not responding adversely to Bitcoin pulling back. Just to quickly note, though, there is the delta for shorts is getting lower, which is a good sign. That generally implies that we have bullish continuation potential, mainly because the delta was too high at one point, right? Now that it's starting to dissipate, we're starting to see more shorts getting liquidated, and that shift in momentum is happening. So it doesn't necessarily mean the price is going to shoot straight up. It just implies that we're probably closer to our tentative bottom. And if you look at this here too, really quick here, just to clarify what the open interest is, 141.15. So about, just say 141 is a round number. We talked about that yesterday being a key level here for us. But what I wanted to talk about, though, is just how well Solana did compared to Bitcoin's bottom here. So if we look at the 4-hour time frame, just to kind of clarify, we came down here, bounced up, we established a higher low. Okay, if you can kind of see that, this is higher than this. That's great if you look at Bitcoin, because Bitcoin established a lower low. This tells us that Solana has much better support in the range of 135. And that implies that if we retest that level, we may likely hold it, or just more importantly, Solana has a little bit more general strength than Bitcoin. Those are things I like to kind of understand when taking trades in either direction, specifically with altcoins, and understanding the correlation or dissimilarities, whatever the case, between Bitcoin and the trading pair you're looking at. So at this point here, let's go ahead and see what's going on. Oh, quick congrats to our community too. We took some nice profits for our Bitcoin short yesterday. Good little 29%, and an Aptos short at 39%. And our Premium Plus group is killing it here. ETH, nice profits there. Same thing with Solana, Chainlink, Cardano. We also got some more Chainlink and Cardano. Okay, so again, really cool stuff there. Congrats on that. The trading bot was able to identify that shift in momentum, and those are all long trade signals within the last 24 hours. So let's take a look here, of course, at Solana. Go ahead and start with the daily time frame, work our way down. We want to recognize a few things here. First of all, we're kind of coming into this more local point of control, right? So ever since we kind of been in this range of just say 125 to 160, we can see that we have the most amount of volume accumulation at 143. Now, that's no surprise. 143 has been that common denominator for Solana for a while. So again, we've been wavering above and below it, so it's not like a definitive line like, okay, we're above it, we're good, take it long to the moon. First of all, you never take longs to the moon, and don't trust anyone that uses the word moon in their sentencing if they're going to describe any type of coin. Again, I think it's kind of foolhardy because obviously parabolic runs happen, but right now for that to just occur out of nowhere makes zero sense. Anyways, daily time frame, we're right here at 50 on the RSI. Bitcoin also right there at 50, just a little bit above. So again, closing above that level or at 62,000 or higher for Bitcoin today would give a lot of altcoins continuation potential. Keep in mind today is a Friday. We have a very solid green day on a Friday that generally will run inverse over the weekend. So we might see a pump continue all the way through Saturday, but come Sunday, we're going to see a reckoning in most cases where a lot of alts will take some hits, right? Bitcoin dominance shoots up, price of Bitcoin goes sideways, and everything just starts to bleed out. It happens very, very often. Anyways, the money flow index is below the RSI, so that doesn't give me a ton of strength here or a ton of confidence in taking a long position here with Solana because of that factor. Now, again, that's a macro scenario, and this is based on the last 14 days. So obviously the last 14 days mostly have been red. The price has come down last 14 days. So obviously the money flow index is going to give us that indication. So that can be a flawed metric sometimes. So be careful trusting your green dots and your red dots and all those funky indicators that have 50 million different confirming factors. Be careful with that. At this point here, though, MACD is trying to converge. We're starting to see a bottom out on our TSI trend strength. So a lot of reasons why we may be at our tentative bottom. We are in between a lot of moving averages or below most moving averages for the daily time frame here in Solana. Keep in mind Bitcoin is smack dab in the middle of all three or all four of them rather. And that kind of is disadvantageous as well. So I'm not in the position to be like, this is a great situation to take along with, but the daily time frame is kind of as per usual, kind of conflicting. There's a lot of good and bad scenarios there, and that's what happens with the transition on the macro time frame. That's why you can't trust only the big picture, right? So that gives us a general understanding where we're at. The 4 hours is a good transitionary time frame, kind of a bit better of an indicator. And right now, of course, we can see we're above majority of the important moving averages, the 20 and the 50. Those to me are the more important one. And actually, I think the 200 is in there as well. It's that purple guy there. See, a lot of confluence right there at that 143 mark. So again, this is that 143 level here, right there. That's a previous support level, turned resistance, turned support. Okay, so it was previous to that, it was a resistance level, or resistance range rather, turns into a support, supposed to work as a resistance. It did not, therefore we can presume it should be a support moving forward. I know it seems weird that like these lines on the chart can kind of shift momentum or just kind of give you representations of where support and resistances are, but the reason why that's relevant is because these are areas that the price action will continue to retest. So if you kind of think about it, the bulls and the bears are arguing and fighting all over the place at this exact moment. Why is that? Well, it's because they both feel it's a good value, and inevitably one side or the other becomes victorious, right? In this case, it blasted straight through there as if it didn't happen. Therefore, if we come back down to that level, we can presume the previous support will work again as a support, right? So that's generally the concept there. If you kind of start thinking of like like a really like epic battle going on in the background, it kind of helps understand. It gives you more thorough, well-rounded understanding of what's going on. Okay, anyways, what I'm getting at here is we're over 50 on the RSI. Stochastic is a bit on the topped out side, so keep in mind we are starting to get a little on the overextended side. This isn't crazy. This is only like a 5, which means we've been running for about 20 hours in the same direction. So a pullback would make sense in the relative near future, but at this point here, the money flow index is below the RSI. Generally speaking, we don't have enough volume to warrant a long position just yet. But usually what happens in these situations, and this is what I'm hoping for, is for the price to pull back to like the 143. And at that point, it would kind of give us a chance to kind of cool off on the indicators. The price action could either work itself into a flag pattern or an ascending type of triangle and inevitably break to the upside, or basically a pennant pattern rather is what you're looking for. So ultimately, again, it's too early to say, but if you see something like that forming, that would be a good consideration for a long, because when you have that accumulating just above a support, it's important to recognize that that's more likely to continue. Keep in mind, we do have a resistance here at about 146, so there's that as well. But if we look at the hourly, we can kind of just recognize that there's a lot of momentum and a lot of reasons why taking a short position doesn't make a lot of sense just yet. While I would agree that this is an overextension, and we can see that what we've been running for roughly, again, about 20 hours without retrace, right? So that's all the more reason why I wouldn't want to take a long right now, even though the price could continue to run. What I would feel more comfortable doing is taking a long instead at the local support, point of control, 143. We've seen that be a common denominator in a lot of different cases. We have tons of confluence as well at 143 on the larger time frames. So that leads me to believe we close above 143 today. It may be worth considering a long. Just make sure that you understand, going into the weekend with a profitable Friday, a lot of times you will see a reckoning near the end of the trading day when the Asian market's open, or possibly that may wait until Sunday. So if we have this green day today and tomorrow, just be very careful on Sunday. The truth of the matter is here, watch your longs closely to make sure that you're not getting too aggressive and not overdoing it with longs. Like I might take 1 or 2 long positions later today, depending on how Bitcoin closes, but a lot of it has to do with the price action, how things work out. So either way, still premature at this point. It's probably best to wait for a pullback at 143 to take a long. And if the price continues to run, consideration for a short, potentially at resistance here and or the local high at 150. Once more, I wouldn't consider a short just yet. It makes more sense to consider a long when the price pulls back, if it does. Okay? So between now and the next analysis, just be very careful. Just recognize there's a lot of bullish convergences here, a lot of volume flowing into this coin, and it doesn't make a ton of sense to short into that. So you're statistically more probable to find success going up than down at this exact moment. Cool. All right, I hope that makes sense. I described that correctly. Once again, make sure you check out Bitunix, folks. Phenomenal exchange, link down below for these guys. And I just want to say thank you again to everybody who's been liking and watching the videos. Deeply appreciate your support. We'll look forward to seeing the next one. Have a good rest of your day. Be safe.